January 30th, 2025, and this video is called Witness Describes Seeing White Flare at Moment of Plane Collision. Now, this is a witness to the plane collision in Washington. Now, I'm going to show you what he has to say, and it kind of sounds like possibly that he might have seen the crash, but what's weird is he describes these flares, but if you look at the video, you would think he would have heard the crash. So I don't know what he is confused about, so I'm going to play that and you could listen to what he says. But here is the video of it from the Kennedy Center cam in Washington, D.C. Here's the plane right here. Now here's a close-up of it. Here's the helicopter. I just find it strange. It looks like it's just going straight for it. But watch this. And see that? Those might have been the flares. But you would think that this witness would have heard the plane crash and mentioned that in the interview. It definitely looks like it's going forward. And you would think it would have seen this airplane, especially a Black Hawk. You're thinking they must have night vision and all kinds of radar and stuff on it.
I was just with my girlfriend at the park, at Gravelly Point Park, right next to Reagan National Airport, and we were eating dinner, just as normal, taking in the nice views, and we noticed the planes started having irregular patterns, and they all kind of dispersed from the regular landing patterns. And then we looked up in the sky before that, and we saw these white flare.
What do you think when you saw these white flares?
We didn't think much of it. We thought they were like shooting stars. I don't know. I couldn't really explain it, but we didn't really think much of it until we saw the fire trucks start going out to the tarmac and the police cars and the police boats. It was insane. It was really insane.
We're picking up no victim count. We have one aircraft. Still think we're looking for a helicopter. We're picking up like 3 or 4 victims right now.
Copy that.
Hey, Sarge, do you want me to get somebody from 1D to take the desk and I'll start prepping 810?
Hey, from TO, yep, let's go ahead and do that. Start prepping 810. When I get in there, we'll take 801 and they can take 810 out and meet us out there.
Hey, Sarge, to be honest with you, anybody you guys got that can bring a boat, probably one boat for divers, and we can make up a dive team when you get out here.
Yep, hey, firm, I'm bringing almost everybody in.
Okay, because we probably have a half-mile debris field right now.
Copy that.
Copy as you may be DLS.
Medical Local Ambulance 3 respond for the BLS Environmental, Lincoln Road and T Street Northeast. T as in Tango, operate on Tech Channel 011, 2112.
Command to the Deputy Fire Chief of Operations.
Operations, Deputy Fire.
Yes, sir. If you don't mind, can you send a battalion chief over to National Airport? Seems like they're going to have a casualty collection point over there, and we do not have comms with them. Copy.
Communications to Agent A. You have ambulance 16 responding.
1616.
S25, CRJ in sight. S25, F1 is CRJ.
S5 has a aircraft in sight, precision separation.
Separation. 472 Washington Tower, 1 star, 32017. 472. American 3130, go around, turn left in 250, claim maintain 3000.
Fire Command, the accident happened in the river. Both the helicopter and the plane crashed in the river. It's east of the approach end of runway 33.
Is the airfield closed?
Yes, the airfield is closed. The airfield is closed.
Runways as well?
Yes, all runways are closed. Nobody's landing. No one's moving at all. It was probably out in the middle of the river. I just saw a fireball and then it was just gone. So I haven't seen anything since they hit the river, but it was a CRJ and a helicopter that hit. I would say maybe a half-mile off the approach end of 33.
I'd like to request a moment of silence for the victims and their families, please. Thank you very much. I speak to you this morning in an hour of anguish for our nation. Just before 9 p.m. last night, an American Airlines regional jet carrying 60 passengers and 4 crew collided with an Army Black Hawk helicopter carrying 3 military service members over the Potomac River in Washington, D.C., while on final approach to Reagan National Airport. Both aircraft crashed instantly and were immediately submerged into the icy waters of the Potomac. Real tragedy. The massive search and rescue mission was underway throughout the night, leveraging every asset at our disposal, and I have to say the local, state, federal, military, including the United States Coast Guard in particular, they've done a phenomenal job. So quick, so fast, it was mobilized immediately. The work has now shifted to a recovery mission. Sadly, there are no survivors. This was a dark and excruciating night in our nation's capital and in our nation's history, and a tragedy of terrible proportions. As one nation, we grieve for every precious soul that has been taken from us so suddenly, and we are a country of really, we are in mourning. This is really shaken a lot of people, including people, very sadly, from other nations who were on the flight. For the family members back in Wichita, Kansas, here in Washington, D.C., and throughout the United States and in Russia, we have a Russia contingent, some very talented people, unfortunately, were on that plane. Very, very, very sorry about that. Whose loved ones were aboard the passenger jet. We can only begin to imagine the agony that you're all feeling. Nothing worse. On behalf of the First Lady, myself, and 340 million Americans, our hearts are shattered alongside yours, and our prayers are with you now and in the days to come. We'll be working very, very diligently in the days to come. We're here for you to wipe away the tears and to offer you our devotion, our love, and our support. There's great support. In moments like this, the differences between Americans fade to nothing compared to the bonds of affection and loyalty that unite us all, both as Americans and even as nations. We are one family, and today we are all heartbroken. We're all searching for answers. That icy Potomac, it was a cold, cold night, cold water. We're all overcome with the grief for many who have so tragically perished, will no longer be with us. Together we take solace in the knowledge that their journey ended not in the cold waters of the Potomac, but in the warm embrace of a loving God. We do not know what led to this crash, but we have some very strong opinions and ideas, and I think we'll probably state those opinions now. Because over the years I've watched as things like this happen, and they say, well, we're always investigating, and then the investigation 3 years later, they announce it. We think we have some pretty good ideas, but we'll find out how this disaster occurred, and we'll ensure that nothing like this ever happens again.